Hello and welcome to Cornish Walking Trails. Today we're near Porthcurno and we're looking for a rocking stone, but will it rock? Hello everybody, sorry to interrupt. We just wanted to say Merry Christmas because this is probably the last video that we'll publish before Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Save me a mince pie, I can see you eating it there. Clotty cream.
We also wanted to let you know that our next video that we're going to film is going to be a questions and answers. So if you've got any questions about us or the channel or Cornwall, by all means put it in the comments by...
Yes, 29th of December.
Yes, we're looking to film that on the 30th. If we get no comments or questions, there won't be a video.
No, you can ask us whatever you want, we might not necessarily answer them all.
We also wanted to say thank you so much for watching this year. Thank you to all our patrons and YouTube members. You are so kind to support us financially in the way that you do throughout the year. So also, we want to say...
Oh, if you are a patron or a YouTube member, we've just put details of our meetup for next spring in the usual place on the Patreon homepage and on YouTube membership.
Yeah, so all the details are over there. If you're interested in coming along, just let us know.
Lovely to see you.
It will.
Yeah.
And finally, everybody that has supported us with Buy Me a Coffee, I will try and get your names running over the screen, although there is usually a blank bit when I do this, but you know who you are and we are very grateful for everything that you send us and donate towards the channel. Yeah,
all of that goes towards the running of the channel, just helps us out a little bit. If you are feeling very festive and you fancy helping us out with a Buy Me a Coffee, there's a QR code on the screen now. Thank you very much.
So all it remains is to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year and enjoy watching the video.
Bye, Merry Christmas. For our walk today we've parked here. This is the car park in Treen. It's £2 for 2 hours and it's £4 all day, and it's November 2024.
Hello everybody. Andrew's behind me.
Hello.
We're making our way from Treen, a little village on the road towards Porthcurno, to Logan Rock, which is a rocking stone. This video we're going to take a look at the special characteristics of rocking stones. I know, very niche, very weird. One of the weirdest walks we've done.
This one?
Probably.
Probably, yes, yes. But this video will rock.
Very good.
This place, back in Victorian times, this was your Eden project. This was your St Michael's Mount. This was your Minack. This is where all the tourists wanted to come.
We have a very old book with us today, just to demonstrate that tourists came here in search of this rock formation. This book is from 1814. It's called A Guide to Mounts Bay and Land's End. Let's just read you a passage from his journaling. It says, continuing our route round the coast, we arrive at Castle Trin. Its name is derived from the supposition of its having been the site of an ancient British fortress, of which there's still some obscure traces. And the author says of Logan Headland's stupendous rocks. Its rugged appearance of the rocks do not indicate anything like art. The foundation of the whole is a stupendous group of granite rocks which rise in a pyramidical cluster to a prestigious altitude and overhang the sea. One of those pyramids is situated the Logan stone, which is an immense block of granite containing more than 1,200 cubic feet of stone and weighing about 90 tons. The surface in contact with the underrock is of very small extent, and the whole mass is so nicely balanced that notwithstanding its magnitude, the strength of a single man applied to its under edge is sufficient to change its centre of gravity, and it will rock. So this fascinated, I mean, what was this? This is Georgian times. This is before Victoria. So it fascinated them even back then. So we're just going to go up the southwest coast path a couple hundred yards towards Porthcurno to get that really good view of the headland and point out which one is the rocking stone.
Perfect place for that perfect view, isn't it?
Oh, it's stunning. This beach is one of the most photographed beaches in Cornwall. It's always on Instagram, usually from the Minack with its aqua azure blue waters. That's created because there is a bit of a sandbar down there, and it retains a little bit of seawater like a great big pond that warms up in summer, and it is so idyllic. It looks like the Mediterranean. Behind is Logan Head there, and on that, oh, I can't do it in mirror, there we go, that one is a rocking stone. It has a fantastic story. Imagine when the granite headland was made back in all those years ago, when the earth was a bowl of lava. That had bubbles of granite, and they formed on top of each other like stacks. As erosion happened and the softer rock around these bubbles eroded and disappeared, it left these fantastic formations, these columns of granite. Sometimes they are only just touching each other, and they do rock, and today we're going to try and find one that does still rock. This is one of my favourite spots in Cornwall. Maybe not so much in the summertime, I prefer it in the winter when you've basically got it to yourself. It's beautiful, beautiful day, gentle sunshine, hardly any breeze, so let's get going. Let's see if we can find a Logan rock.
So I was reading an old book the other day. I haven't got it with me today, but the rocking stone that we're looking for, it's called the Logan stone, isn't it? There's a couple of things. I just assumed that the one we're going to today was the only one.
Right.
Whereas this old book I had was telling me there was loads of them, and if you look at some of the old Ordnance Survey maps from the late 1800s, a lot of them have got them marked on there, and most of them are in West Cornwall, which is obviously where we are today. So it's not just that one, we're talking about lots of them, but they've been lost over time.
Yeah.
Okay. It also told me in the book that it's pronounced as Logan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's
the
a
emphasis
village
on the log.
Yes, there's a village in Cornwall called Logan, isn't there?
Yes.
So it's like Logan. That's how I feel it should
But the emphasis was on the O, not
so
the
it's
U.
Logan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To reach the headland we have to pass through an Iron Age fort. In 1824, 200 years ago, it was thrown off its pivot point. Before that point, you could just gently rock it in rhythm, just with your hand. This magazine is a little bit more modern, from 2015, and it's about old Cornwall, has little items in here. One today that's pertinent to our story is about Lieutenant Goldsmith, who pushed the Logan rock off its balancing position. And it says here, the trade of the guides, however, was rudely interrupted by the action of the now notorious Lieutenant Charles Goldsmith and his crew of the revenue cutter the Nimble. A hue and cry went up about this. The locals were no longer able to make a living, the pub wasn't able to sell cream teas and beers, so it got to the Admiralty. The Admiralty decided to force Lieutenant Goldsmith to put it back. They did, however, help. They gave him the resources of the cranes that were available in the Navy, but he did have a substantial bill to pay to put this back on its balancing position. It's never quite right. But the bit I like in here is a letter from a local, and he is very upset about what's happened with the Logan stone being pushed off. He says, concerning our Logan rock that lived so many years among us in peace and quiet till some rattle-headed harem-scarem sailors belonging to the king's cutter come out here on Thursday the 8th of April and without the least provocation move the rock out of its place. And it's written in dialect. Can you see it at the top of the page here? Absolutely wonderful. You can just imagine some old Cornish boy being so moved to write this letter. Hasn't really got a full education on his spelling, but he's determined to get his point across. So he isn't happy. Strong beams were planted about the Logan stone, chains were passed round it, pulleys were rigged, and capstans were manned. Within 2 hours of winding, it was suspended in the air at 4:20 on Tuesday afternoon, November the 2nd, 1824. A signal was given that the rock was in place and that it logged again. I've been over there. I didn't get all the way to the Logan rock itself. It's treacherous over there. There is a point I remember, and sometimes it just springs into my brain, where you go along on the other side. You are literally clinging to the rock. The path is about that wide, and there's a drop like this all the way to the sea. It's only about 8 feet, but you can just see the sea. It's like it just stayed with me. So the Logan Rock, do you fancy going out there, trying your chances? I would recommend sturdy boots, a dry day, no wind, and if you've got a head for heights, then good luck to you. At the end there is a really steep slope, a flat bit, and you're presented with a 22 foot vertical cliff, and the stone is at the top. Somebody from the National Trust has actually put a plaque on that bit and it says Logan Stone.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not selling this to me, by the way. I don't think I'll be going out to do it. This fascination that the Victorians had with these rocking stones, isn't it?
I know.
And that's one of the reasons they came to Cornwall. It was the start of tourism, wasn't it?
So I know that you have fear of heights.
Yes.
And getting to the Logan Rock itself is quite difficult. Are you sure you don't want to have a go? Because I know you said there's an engraving in the Blight book, isn't there?
Well, there's two.
Oh, okay.
It's got two, and it's got one just as you enter onto Trindinus, which is the final bit of the headland, as far as I understand it. There's another one of the stone itself.
Right.
I was going to say no. I've just seen another couple just wander over there, so we'll certainly go out to where they are. I think
the first bit is quite easy.
Right. Okay.
Didn't expect that. I thought he'd say no.
She made me do it.
It did
I
not.
had to sign a disclosure and everything.
No, you did
I
not.
did.
I'm quite excited. I do like going out there. And there's all sorts of rocks that you can just kind of say, how on earth is it still there? You just want to try and push them over. Like I said before, I've been out here before. I got so far and got stuck basically, couldn't get to the actual Logan stone itself. So we'll see how far we get today, but it's lovely just to be out here. Fantastic view of Pedonbounder and Porthcurno and the Minack. There's always the path you can't quite reach. I wish I was another 6 inches taller. Oh, I'm going to follow you, take your route.
You're not getting through there?
No. We've come up quite high. I'm puffing. Look at that view. quite rocky, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is just rock climbing now, isn't it? Do you know what? I mean, we are both the wrong side of 50, aren't we?
Carrying too many injuries.
We are. This, yeah, I don't think this is for me.
I thought you might say that.
I know everybody's screaming at the video now, saying you know, you wuss, you idiot. But do you know what? I mean, I'm quite happy looking at it from photographs.
We're literally about 50 metres from it.
But it's that side, isn't it? If you can see what's behind you, there's no way we're getting over that. Right, I've got an idea. Photoshop. Right, I just need you pushing something. It'll work, just push something. Right, Sarah, this won't go in the video, by the way, alright? Don't tell anybody this, okay?
Right.
But look, we'll pretend that this one here is the rocking stone, right?
You want me to try and push it?
Yeah, so hang on, come back,
Okay,
and we'll pretend we've walked out there now, right? Go on,
okay.
go on. Okay.
Look!
Wait.
Look, it's the
Oh, it's here!
stone.
Oh, right, give it a push, go on, right, go on. Oh, look at it go! Go on, do it again. Oh, yeah, look, it's rocking, and again. Go on, yeah, go on.
Yeah, Andrew, I think the whole world is rocking.
Ah, okay.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
What are you looking at? That?
Yeah.
A bottom.
It's a peach.
Oh. There we go.
Or a bottom.
Yeah.
Can you actually get down there?
Yeah.
Can I get down there?
Well, let me help you.
Are we going the difficult way?
I came up that way. That looks a lot easier. We're getting too old for these shenanigans, Sarah.
I know, it's sad, isn't it? Your body doesn't do what your mind wants it to do. There's no need to make it look steeper than it is because the camera's going to flatten it out.
It's like that. It's literally like that. You're going to have to find a new adventure buddy, I reckon.
Where's my son?
Yeah, get him up here. He'd do it. Do you know, a lot of old books about Cornwall, because they were written in Victorian times, are quite starchy, aren't they? They're very matter of fact and that type of thing. Functional.
This geology, that amount of employment, and
this book breaks the mould. This is Rambles Beyond Railways by Wilkie Collins. Came in 1850. Wonderful book. He didn't hold back, did he?
no, he's been quite
like
rude
a lot
at
of
times.
places in Cornwall. He was quite rude. Anyway, he came here, as he said, and there's a great description about how you move this Logan stone. And it's supposed to be huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
You are told by the guide to turn your back to the uppermost stone, to place your shoulders under one particular part of its lower edge, which is entirely disconnected all round with the supporting rock below, and in this position to push upwards slowly and steadily, then to leave off again for an instant, then to push once more, and so on until a few moments of exertion you feel the whole immense mass above you moving as you press against it. You redouble your efforts, then turn around and see the massy Logan stone set in motion.
Oh,
Set in
it's the
motion.
wind.
By nothing but your own pair of shoulders. You have treated 85 tons of granite like a child's cradle, and
Wow.
like a child's cradle, those 85 tons have rocked at your will. So it's great, isn't it? That's
amazing.
a description of how you do it.
Yeah. I didn't think we'd ever find that, did you?
No, not, and I mean, that was written as well after it had been replaced, isn't it? And it wasn't supposed to rock as easily as it once did.
Well, it was reputed to rock just with one little finger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So as long as you get that oscillation right and the rhythm right, and you don't push when it's trying to come back, you should get it going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was on the Victorians' tourist map of Cornwall. This was the go-to place. They'd get a guide and then they'd scramble over these rocks to get to that Logan stone, and then they would push it, and it was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They all did it, and they're in, Victorians. Your image of Victorian, they tend to be quite suited. They've got hats on. The ladies got big dresses normally.
They didn't have walking boots.
They must have been a lot braver than we are.
Yeah.
I've worked it out. That's why the life expectancy back in Victorian days was so much lower than it is today. They all fell off the rocks out here, didn't they? That's what it was.
You might have a point.
There we go.
Now we've got to get back without falling off these rocks.
I think we should film more like this.
What?
We'll call it a rockumentary. What I'm wondering is who found out about rocks in the first place? It's not as if you're passing it every day of the week, is it? It's really, really remote. There can't be that many people that would have come out in the first place.
No.
Then to actually think, I've got a good idea. Let's just see if this gigantic rock rocks.
It's 90-ton
I know.
granite boulder.
And it does make you wonder when the first people knew it rocked, isn't it? How far back in time this goes? Because obviously it was recorded a lot in Victorian times.
Yeah.
But how
What
far
about
back?
before?
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. Looks beautiful and the noise is amazing. Watch this wave coming in. What we've just found, we're idiots.
Would you believe that? Would you believe that?
We're absolute idiots. Look, there you go. I wonder how many years that's been up there.
It's up here then.
Well, that's going scrambling up a rock that's taller than you.
It's even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll give it a go.
Right, well we can either try scrambling over there or we can go back to the pub, film the sign
Back to the pub.
and have a beer.
Back to
Got
the
out
pub.
of shot very quick then. So there is actually a reason for us going back to the pub. At Logan Rock Pub there's a bill of items that it costs the Lieutenant Goldsmith to put that rock back into position, and it's such a shame we can't get out there because he spent all this money on it and we can't get to it. Really frustrating. But let's get to the pub, that'll be less frustrating. Oh dear, our attempts were quite feeble. I think we got to about there. It's a huge structure.
That was a flipping fail, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Useless.
I'm a bit sad that my adventuring days are over though. I always used to be a bit gun-ho, up for anything. But the old body doesn't work like it used to anymore. Such a shame.
All that rock climbing, Sarah, we've worked up a thirst.
So yes, sugar. Yeah, with the diet pills. We think about that. Yeah, what they are, or what they have in today's.
The bill of costs.
Yeah.
It came to £130 200 years ago.
It was probably a lot of money, wasn't it?
It bankrupted him basically, didn't it?
It did. This is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we just asked behind the bar and they were kind enough to give us a
Yeah.
copy of this.
Yeah.
So this is actually the bill that Lieutenant Goldsmith ran up having to replace the Logan Rock. And it says on here that the stone was actually replaced on Tuesday, November the 2nd, 1824 at 20 minutes past 4 in the afternoon.
Wow.
So we've got an exact date and time of when it was put back into place. So I've had a good look at this. The total bill came to £130, 8 shillings and 6pence.
Yeah, that's a lot of money back
Probably
then.
would have been a lot of money.
Yeah.
My favourite entry on this one is that one there, March the 3rd. Mr. William Charnels for 60 St. Just men who did nothing but drink beer to the value of 13 shillings and 6pence. Those St. Just men, good for nothing. They just drink beer all day and do nothing.
So we've had a great time trying to find the Logan stone.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how they actually got out there all those years ago, doesn't it?
No, it's phenomenal. They must have had a stream of people
Yeah.
just going out to the stone.
Much braver than us. We couldn't
Oh.
get out there today, could we?
I am disappointed.
Have you been? Have you actually been and tested it? How does it move? How easy
Does
is
it move anymore? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It makes you
know.
want to go and get a wedge out there, doesn't it?
Does. Yeah, get a great big broom handle.
So I think we're going to leave it here because it's starting to get dark, and we'll see you again next time. So bye for now.
Bye.